sorry ass DJ.
You can get some.
Many spend their days passively searching for something interesting to do. Others dig in and find it. While nothing is certain, anything is possible. And the anticipation leads you into action. Because it's here that adventures begin. Stories are unearthed. Secrets are revealed. Fortunes are found. Mysteries are solved. And the past is brought to life. Nothing valued is ever lost. It's simply waiting to be discovered. So here's the question. What are you looking for?
Metal detecting, simplified for newcomers. Exceptional stability in salt water. Waterproof up to 16 feet. Impressive depth and discrimination, similar to a high-end detector. All for an unbeatable price. Score, multi-frequency for all.
It's Thursday, it's 8 o'clock, and it's the Big Detecting Show. Hello, darling. How are you this fair evening?
I'm lovely. I'm very moist because it's wet down south. So
it is moist weather indeed, isn't it?
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's very moist out there.
I've just sent you a video, but I don't think I actually caught what I was trying to catch.
Okay.
Tonight's guest is, you can't see what I can see. Tonight's guest was actually dancing along to the music of the last commercial. So I was trying to video it for you, but obviously I was just a little bit, mate. Apparently I make people moist. Oh, yeah.
I do, but it's normally when I spill my drink.
I like moist cake.
Good evening, everyone in the chat. I see little Simon Dempsey's in there, which is nice.
Very
Steve
little.
Cord. Hi, Steve Cord, Carl Ellis, Philip Wills, Stephen Brame, who sent us, who's been on TV this week because of his
got a few images to look at.
Yeah, and his finds. So, and
Blakey, Charlie Deemer, Paul Tong, Andy T from Canada, Andrew LAX. He's back. They've let him out.
Tony Coward. Tony Coward. Hello, Tony.
The lovely Steve Cord, Keith Ellis,
John Clayton. Hi, John. James
Anderson,
Barnes. Oh, hello, James. Oh, do you know what? I was only looking at James's clip when he came on the show the other month. I don't know why.
Ange and Derek, I've got a question, right? You both live together, possibly sat next to each other, but you're both watching on separate YouTubes. What's that about? Derek Gibbon, and I'll need some of Derek Gibbon's back in a minute, and James Barnes and Jeanette Davis. G.I. Jan. Derek, please could you tell people that I'm crap at getting prizes sent out? Can I have it from your mouth? As tonight's guest will also realise. And Philip Wills has asked me to do a public broadcast announcement to say, please could you tell everybody to move over to this stream on the Big Detecting Show who are watching on Peaky Finders, because it gets a bit of a pain in the bottom for some people to jump from one area to another to have the conversation.
Hi, Jack Bellamy Jr. from Indiana in the USA.
Yo, Jack.
Wow. Got Canada, America. Wow.
Canadian and America.
So you've been detecting last weekend, Dave?
No. What's his name? Shane was going to the site that we were on the week before that we had a lot of look on, and he wants to give, because he's only allowed to take obviously a small number on, he wants to give Stephen that a chance to go on. So I stayed in this weekend. Derek Gibbons says, if you're waiting for prizes from Dave, I recommend an abundance of patience. Thank you, Derek.
Dave's been very, very busy. Very busy. No, I went
this
out
week. I've been mental, mate. I wasn't even in work on Monday and Tuesday. I was in college all day Monday, meetings all day Tuesday.
Oh yeah, because you're doing your sociology GCSE reset, aren't you? I forgot about
GCSE,
that.
mate.
Oh, CSE.
No. City and Guilds.
Oh. Dave, we watch on the TV, then chat on phones, sitting next to each other on the sofa. Yeah, that probably is a way of saying that Angie's on the toilet, I reckon.
Adrian, apparently TC says that you're better at doing prizes.
I just like getting them out the door as quick as I can. I wrap them up before they've even...
He's only saying that because of what happened at your house the other week when he took over the bath in your wife's robe.
Yeah. Yeah, he did, and used all of the Paddington Bear talc, which wasn't ours, but I don't know where he got that from, but that's empty left on the floor in the bathroom. And there was glass everywhere, and I couldn't work out what that was. And it was the ashtray that he smashed in the bathroom while smoking in the bath. But anyway, do not click on the link that says you have won the shovel from Wolves. It's a scam. Oh, thank you for that, Mark Anderson. Do not click on the link. Ooh, that's why we don't do them on Facebook.
If you're watching it on Peaky Finders stream, the Big Detecting Show has got its own stream. we're trying to migrate the show directly to there. So for anyone watching on the Peak stream, look for the Big Detecting Show stream, and obviously like and subscribe and all that claptrappery that you do. What's gone on this week in the world, Mr. Gaylor?
Garrett have announced. Have you not heard?
No, I've been very busy. I'm very important and very busy, and therefore I haven't heard.
So Garrett put this up.
A storm is coming. That might just be that there's a storm coming.
It could be. Even though they've got at the top, create your own free website with GoDaddy, I think they should have got rid of that. So I think, unless it's a scam, I don't know. But I don't think it is, because it's got all Garrett stuff at the bottom. But I think we will hopefully see a new machine from Garrett this year. And I think it could be like a Pro Apex, possibly, or an AT Pro.
A Propex.
Propex sounds like a tablet, but I think we could be seeing something along the lines of an Apex stroke AT Pro. Or it could be a beginner's machine. I don't know. But we did have Digger Dawn.
Garrett Storm.
Ooh.
It might be their new brand of watches.
That's interesting. But yeah, so yeah, there's that. Is anyone in the chat, you know, the WMO8 module for the Equinox? Has anyone got the WMO9 for the Manticore, or the Knox 900, or the Knox?
I've got the 800.
Yeah, I just wondered what the battery life is like on it, because I'm looking at getting one for
the
the
800
Manticore.
one was lasting forever.
Yes, I presume it should work quite well.
Derek Gibbons says, wasn't there a Storm Garrett that hit last summer?
Maybe that's what it is.
Tony Kaywood said, and Tony, get off the source, because I don't know what you said. I got an email from Quest the other day that had left the AI or the AL comments in.
Oh, really? Oh, dear, Quest. Oh, dear.
Well, I don't get that. What's an AI comment?
Artificial intelligence comments. So it probably had something like, write an email on how good our metal detectors are by Quest. I don't know. I presume that's what he means. Steve called Garrett could do with a good beach machine. Yeah, but the A series aren't bad.
Yeah.
The A series aren't. I mean, I still see a lot of people with them on the beaches near me. But you're right.
You book.
Oh yeah.
Guide to Mudlarking by Jenny Ridgewell, and it's obviously all about mudlarking, and all the images are, Adrian, what was the word? I forgot.
What word?
Illustrations.
Illustrations.
They're all illustrations, not photographs. It's a lovely book. Only recently released. It's on Amazon. And Jenny's asked me to give her a shout to come on the show in the coming weeks.
What's it called again?
For the benefit of Ange, it's called The Guide to Mudlarking by Jenny Ridgewell.
Jenny Ridgewell, and it's on Amazon.
It is.
Fantastic.
There's that lovely chap from Monarch Designs.
Ah, hello, Brian.
And I think there's a very, very nice little image coming up a little bit later from Stephen Brain that has one of Brian's products within it as well.
Yes. Dino Detects in there as well. Hi, Dino.
Dino Detects.
Has our guest got her outfit on?
Yes. I would like to bring on this show that very lovely person, Slash from Guns N' Roses.
Yay!
Hi, Slash.
Do you want to get
Donna Martin, how lovely to meet you in reality.
It's really nice to meet you. Look, I just wanted to do this. I'm looking at the world through rose-tinted spectacles tonight. So,
And why the hell not?
And hello, Canada, and hello, USA.
Canada.
Welcome to Britain.
Yeah, and thank you for inviting me. I'll take these off because I can't see.
Oh, she's got a face, Adrian.
We'll explain to our overseas viewers how you are actually a lady and what that means later on in the show, and how you wear hats like that. Like me and Dave wear bowler hats for work every day.
Exactly. No, it's actually a 19th century riding hat, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
I bought it off a guy who's converted it into like a steampunk hat. So yeah, cool.
Do you go to steampunk?
I'm a chameleon. I'm not steampunk. I'm more of a. Well, I've got my Ace Cafe t-shirt on, but yeah, that was just for you guys, by the way.
Yeah, there's a big mudlarking thing near me in Malden, in Essex, every year at a steam museum, and it freaks everyone out because it's like a little village, and there's all these strange people walking down the road with goggles on and that.
There's a mudlarking event at a steam museum by you.
No, not mudlarking.
A steampunk. It's got mudlarking on the mind. Yeah.
What's up with you, man?
Oh, I've drunk 4 bottles of wine, half a bottle of sherry, and a miniature Calvados before I came on.
And all of that was left by TC. No, it wasn't, because he drank it all.
Oh, TC, do you know what he left? I can't believe it. 16 sachets of Smash in the bathroom, under the bath. What? I reckon he put it in the bath and ate it whilst he was bathing. But anyway, right.
Do you think Tony actually giggles to himself, or is he like, you pair of pricks?
Well, it depends whose house he's in, doesn't it? I suppose. I mean, I don't know where he is tonight. I don't think Lady Martin. He's not round yours, is he? Yeah.
No, but I do watch him on YouTube, Tony Kaywood, sometimes.
Yeah, he's. Have you got any outhouses?
Yeah.
Oh, careful. Just be careful. Lock your back door, and if you hear any funny noises, don't go out there.
Yes,
we know you both as we both know you as somebody who watches the show and send us the most marvelous of voicemails to our dictaphone that we've got set up in Adrian's office. So for the benefit of those who don't know you, please can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Donna Martin. Well, who am I? I have been detecting for about 30 years.
How can you have been metal detecting since before you were born?
Exactly. Save it for the magic teapot. I am a professionally trained amateur archaeologist. I used to work for English Heritage before they became Historic England. So when they split, it was the more academic side in listing, designation of all kinds, including scheduling. I run a museum project in Soham, but before everybody rushes here, that's Cambridgeshire. That's it. Soham Museum. We don't actually have a museum, because we live in Cambridgeshire, and do you think anyone's going to let us have a building? So, that's a shame. But we have a massive collection, and we mainly just do outreach. So we run an archaeology group. Most things are actually free. So most things that we do are actually free to join. We have a really low subscription fee for our bi-monthly history group, which is a speaker sort of talk thing. But the archaeology group it's just really inclusive. It's brilliant. It's great. We have all kinds of people. We've got a few new guys that have pitched up, and they're both techies actually. High pressure job, really stressed out. And I've put some pictures in there for you from the latest dig, which was actually a windmill that we did. But we're actually ACE is interesting because it's part of what was called the Jigsaw Project, which was a pilot in Cambridgeshire to get. Because most archaeology now is development-led. So, i.e., archaeology groups are employed to do archaeology before a development is put in. They don't get paid to do any kind of research. And somebody came up with the idea, well, why don't we get amateur groups, professionally train them? And I've had training through my career and through my studying and all of that forever. But this group was basically... it was monitored or mentored by Oxford Archaeology East, there were 23 groups set up across Cambridgeshire to look at either unrecorded or under-recorded archaeological sites across Cambridgeshire. And it was a pilot, and it was, you know, potential to roll it out through the whole country and get people like us, groups like us, looking at their local area and all the brilliant archaeology that nobody's found. And we go out and do it. And, you know, we train the people who come along with us. We can do anything, and we can access any kind of kit, which is great. And like I say, we offer that for free, which is amazing. But yeah, detecting is sort of, I've got all the guys behind me there, but yeah, it's my thing. It's what I do. Look, I've got a start. Look at this.
XP. Is that an XP?
Best machine in the world. I had the most amazing conversation with Marcus at Detectival about that, and he's like, yeah, and the thing about it is, he was like, you know, Marcus from Regton is so technical, and he's like, you know, the thing that it's just got that crack, and it's like, yes, and that's exactly how I found my hoard. And this, what's that? Are you still there, or have I knocked you off?
No, you're there.
Is
I'm looking at you. Is it a gold mask or a Reuters?
It's a
gold
mask. That's my first proper detector.
Adrian, I got it.
I was just about to say, well done, Dave.
I love your books,
yes.
and how you keep your books in order. Anyway, fantastic.
You want to see what's on the floor?
Wine
I had
bottle.
a tidy up this afternoon just for you, and then this is. Sorry about the bandage around it, but it holds the headphones on. So that's Monox 800. And then the machine they've all been confused by is this one. Look, it doesn't work. We can't make it happen. Like, why doesn't it do what we want it to do? And it's the Dice Master.
Well, yes. It's interesting. They got some nice analog machines there, which I find very pleasurable and more relaxing to detect with at times.
Can I tell you what? I was at the point with the Nux where I preferred to take the Goldmax out, because the Nux is not very... for some reason, you feel like you're pushing it instead of it swings. So, I mean, I know I spent years and years and years using the Goldmax. I know it inside out. It speaks to me. And when I got the Nux, I really, really, really struggled with it. And... I mean, I found my hoard with Goldmax. You know, I trust it. It's deep as, I mean, there's a hole. If you go through the images, there's a hole. That was the Goldmax. It's incredible. But you just have to really listen for the quiet noises. The Nux, it's light, but it feels like you have to push it. It doesn't balance very well. You're kind of pushing it around. It doesn't swing. And it was only this year, actually, I've had it for about 3 or 4 years. I just extended it a notch, and it's fine now. It's extended longer than it should be, but it moves better, if that makes sense. But the Master, I only got that. Well, that was Marcus's fault again, because I found out I really, 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 really wanted the Legend. And I phoned up Regton, and he's like, yeah, but it's so like the Nox. And I tried the Legend out at Detectival 2022 and thought, this is awesome. I loved it. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to get it. And I phoned him up and bought the Master.
What do you think, Adrian, on that question? Is the Legend like the Nox?
Yes, I can see that. We're not talking about tones or interface or anything like that. But, you know, if I was not I'd say, you know, bring up the competition, it will smash it. And it is sort of on a par.
The Legend is an amazing machine. I'd love to have one.
Value for money, it's an absolute no-brainer. I mean, when Dilek came on the show a few months ago, she kept saying, "Oh, Adrian, have you got this shaft? Got it in. Have you got the new coil? Have you got this?" And I said, "No, it's exactly as it was when it came out." And she said, "Why do you not upgrade it?" And I don't. I like keeping it. It's like my Manticore. I've had that a year now. I want to see how long it lasts. And will the coil plugs snap? Do you know what I mean? I want to see, and touch wood, it hasn't. But the Legend is driving me up the wall, the amount of updates they've done. And it just gets better and better and better. And they're doing a beast mode, even though I told them to use boost, that's coming out soon. And that'll be well, get a bit more depth. But no, value for money, really good. But then the Deus Master, I've got a Deus too, and I love the Deus.
Yeah. I've
the
never had one
ergonomics
before.
of that.
Yeah, I've never had one before, and to be fair, you know, it's a switch on and go machine. But I think the problem that people are having, a lot of people haven't, and I'm not an expert. I don't want to come across as like a wannabe expert. I think a lot of the problems that people are having is that I grew into this with analog machines. I used the Golden Mask for years, you know, very strong girl. It's heavy, but as they used to say, it's deep. And the Gold Max, you know, for years and years and years and years, completely analog. And you get used to listening for the tones. And with the Master, and it's what I keep trying to say to people, you know, start with basic mode. Because the people who build this, you know, they're testing it and testing it and testing it to get the best performance out of it. Stop fanning about, you know, tweak it for your ground conditions, start in basic. If that says you're going to dig iron, you're going to dig iron. Simple as that. If you get a semi-positive tone and there's like an iron kick on the back of it, you dig it and it'll be an iron nail. Every time. You really have to trust it. And I think people don't. They're so frightened that they're going to miss something. They don't actually trust what the machine is actually telling them. You know, if you get a good, clean, clear signal, two-way, dig it. If you've got an iffy signal, it will be iron. And all you've got to do is go in the field and test the theory. You know, maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 times. Test the theory. Iffy signal, dig it. Every time it will be iron. You know, and you might be lucky. It could be like a brooch with an iron pin on it or something like that. But that knows it's smart, it's clever, and I haven't really wound it up yet. I haven't had to. I'm deep plow at the moment, so you know, not necessary.
Me and Adrian wind each other up all the time.
I know. I've run out of episodes to watch now. I'm really sad.
Oh dear!
You have to go on the podcast and listen to them instead.
I don't know. I've honestly run out of episodes. I've been on the podcast. I'm literally I have got some apologies to make, by the way. Can I make some apologies?
Certainly.
Yes.
I would like to apologise to Mr. Julian Evan Hart for teaching him to suck eggs, because if he hears this, he'll know what I mean. Because when I was at Detectiveville this year, Dan said to me, because some people will know me as a writer for treasure hunting as well, but Dan said to me, you know, I haven't got anyone writing for Detectiveville this year. Like you're taking photographs, you're chatting to people. Do you want to write something? Haven't put my article in yet, of course, but it's sitting there. And when I came back, I felt like I'd missed such a lot because we weren't on the field for a very long time. I was there with my cousin, and he kind of wussed out on the hottest day of the year. I'm good with heat, but he wasn't. And it was beautiful. I loved every minute of it. It was grand. You just got to catch a bit of shade when you can. And a lot.
Adrian unfortunately got very, very parched. Had to drink a lot of fluids.
I think I did, because I chucked half a pint of beer over John Philpott's lovely tidy display.
Oh, I was there when that. I heard that.
That's
happen.
why you didn't come back the next day, then.
Yeah.
I did, and he's going. I said, I'm so sorry, and he's like, he just put all these brand new shiny leaflets out as well, and he's clearing it up, and he's going, oh, no problem, but I'd still like to consign your coin.
I remember Saturday afternoon there was 4 or 5 people, Dave, came in the tent who were they were French, weren't they, wearing like French military uniforms, completely zipped up with like thermal tops underneath.
Well, if you remember, I had to take someone to hospital.
Yes, you did, yeah. And they were just falling, and we were like, unzip your top, take your clothes off. Well,
yeah, but Adrian, yours was in a totally different manner. You remember?
Yeah, it was.
It was beautiful though, and people weren't really being sensible. I mean, I grabbed some. I'd lost my cousin, and I know he's a wimp because he's worked in an office for years, and I lost him. And I grabbed like about 5 or 6 bottles of water off the truck as it sort of came round, and hunted him down. And I found him whimpering under a hedge, like, and it's like, just drink. And he's like, no, I don't want to do it. It's like literally drink. And he didn't feel very well. But I mean, I was literally, if I felt my body temperature going up, I just grabbed some shade. And there was plenty of hedgerows, plenty of trees, but people, you know, they're so worried about, oh, somebody might find my treasure, that they were staying on the field for too long. I mean, it was hot by about 10:30. It was really hot. It started to get hot about 9:30. But no, what I was going to say about Jules was, when I actually came back from Detectiveville, I had this, oh my God, you know, I don't know what went on the rest of the show, because I didn't get out into the big fields that we wanted to go on. We made a plan. We were staying in this really gorgeous cottage, and we sat down on Friday night and we made a plan of what we wanted to do. And it's like, wherever we go, Stuart, we're not going here. And what do? Oh, we'll go here. We went exactly where I said don't go, and everything was found where we didn't go. But so I was catching up and looking at all the YouTubes to see who'd recorded what and the footage. And I found you guys, and I said to Jules, like, oh, you should get treasure hunting on the Big Detection Show. It's great. Yeah, apologies to you guys, because I said, oh, they're a bit gobby, but you know, it's really good fun.
Adrian, well, Jules, what's that say below your name there, Adrian?
I know, but I normally watch it. I watch it on this, you see, so it's really small. I can't see.
No, Jules has been on a few times with his flies undone, sitting on his sofa, but he's. I think he should come on soon again, actually, because he's got that book he's written, which is quite.
Reading his book.
Yeah, he's got he came on about that book, but he's got his new book now, hasn't he?
The new revised How to Detect guide, or
no, he's got the new military. Is it an aircraft one?
Military Women's Hills from 1947 to 64.
That was it. That was it.
Like Kitten Hills.
Yeah,
no, he's not put that in it this year for some reason.
I've got to read this one out, Adrian. Michael Gardner. Sorry, can't listen tonight. I'm at the theatre with my son. He's messaging from the theatre. Adrian's Wall with his son, Adrian's Wall Gardner. It's the intermission, and he's watching Sweeney Todd.
Oh, Sweeney Todd's awesome, mate. Sweeney Todd is a good show.
It amazes me, some people who apologise. I thank them very much, because they genuinely must feel bad. Oh, before I forget, happy birthday to Gareth Howard, who is his birthday today.
Gareth. Merry birthday, Gareth Howard. I hope you're
26.
I hope mother's attics refurb is coming on all well and good after the Tony Kaywood incident.
Yeah, I don't think we'd better go there, Dave. Donna, so you've been detecting a long time, but I see what you mean about the analog machines. I still miss the that's it.
I think want to teach somebody how to detect, put them on the Goldmax. Literally, you've taught them within. My cousin, I think he had a situation with work. He was under a lot of stress. He was interested in detecting. He wanted me to teach him. It was just when lockdown kind of unraveled and we could get out, and I took him out with the Goldmax, and I had the Knox 800, and he actually preferred that. But we went out. The first thing he found, I was literally just walking along with him, getting him to dig the signal. What does this sound like? Is it or And we had it open, no headphones, and it's like, you know, would you dig it or not? Would you dig it or not? Do you know what the first thing was he found? Because he's a jammy sod. He found a silver cufflink. There you go. First find ever. Yeah. But he then went out and bought a Knox, and then he bought a Deus 1, and now he's got a Deus 2. So and I can't remember who he's with. Call to the Saw, I think he goes out with.
Oh, how long's he been doing it?
He's literally been 2020. Is when he's doing it, and he's sort of semi-retired now. He's saying he's looking for work, but I don't believe him, you know. But he is he goes out pretty much 2 or 3 times a week and just loves it. And he's moved up to just on the Nottinghamshire border, and you'll see him if you run the pictures. There's one that looks like Prince Andrew. That's him, and I'll be a detective.
You can't call him Prince Andrew after everything he's been
No,
up to.
you wait till you see him. You can't help it. I love him to pieces, but he's the sort of guy.
Apart from the Prince Andrew factor,
I will be. Hello, Barrington and Leon and Patrick, by the way. But I'll be hanging out with the guys at Detectival or whatever. And I've got an empathetic accent, so if I'm talking to you for an hour, Dave, I'll be speaking up north. If I'm talking to Adrian, I'll be like from Essex, love.
Well, actually, if you're speaking to Adrian, generally you're doing it in some form of World War I, World War II dialogue. That's how it comes across.
Actually,
hello, Badger.
Just interjecting there, Donna.
Yeah.
What on earth was the bit about the plane landing in the field and aliens coming out?
Like the most random stuff happens when you're in a field. I mean, I mostly detect on my own. So stuff happens and you don't know why, how, whatever, but weird stuff happens when you're in a field. So I am used to aircraft flying over every now and then. And for some reason where I am, I get quite a few light aircraft. And I was literally just detecting back off the field. Sort of getting duskish. This plane kind of circled a couple of times, and I've had that before. People take a look. As I just dug my last hole. Actually, it was a Dolaris, which was grand. Just dug, totally where I didn't expect it, but just dug it, filled it in, looked up, and the plane had banked round. It was so low. The guy was hanging out of the door virtually. I don't know if he was taking a photo, if he was looking at what I was doing. It was weird, just weird.
Was it a white plane?
Yeah.
NCMD.
Yeah,
you all remember? Yeah, 100%. NCMD. They fly reconnaissance, checking memberships. So did he have glasses on? Well,
I couldn't see, no, because I wouldn't. It depends which glasses I've got on as to whether I can see or not, to be fair.
Yeah, it's probably Alan Tamblyn, chairman. They're flying around a lot of fields now, checking memberships. And
you've just made me think, actually, Adrian, something that we didn't say at the start of the show. For those of you who are signed up for Rodney Cook emails and such like, bit of an announcement yesterday, Adrian.
Yes, I should know because I spent most of the day sorting it. So tickets will go on sale for Rodney Cook. I don't know when. Hang on. If you go to rodneycookmemorial.co.uk, if you're not on Facebook, it tells you that the tickets will be available from.
You want to know?
Someone else say it because I've just been doing it all day.
26 if you're subscribed and 27th if you're not. From 9 o'clock.
And it'll be taking place near Bath.
It's 8 miles from Bath on the Wiltshire border, and I know I've got a great place to stay. If I'm lucky enough to get a ticket, I would love to come.
Bath.
I'm sure. Did you go last year, Donna?
No, I haven't been to the RCM, so I wasn't lucky enough to get a ticket last year. So, I would love to.
People who went last year, when it says subscribe, that means people who bought tickets to any Rodney Cook event last year, I think. But it's changing this year, rather than because email, Hotmail, Gmail, all that, they're getting very picky about who sends emails. So a lot of them go in spam and people don't look in there. Yeah. So this year they're going to be sending out a text to everyone when the tickets become available with a link. So you can do it from your phone, which most of us use our phones, don't we? But it's looking promising because it's a nice bit of new land. Oh.
Go on, Adrian, do it. There it is.
Oh, so yeah.
Do other things, Adrian.
No, I was loving that. Mine doesn't do that.
Have I got to do that? I'll do that.
Thumbs down, thumbs down, thumbs down. You look like Eddie the Eagle Edwards.
Eddie Edwards?
Eddie the Eagle Edwards.
Why can't I do that one?
Does you have to do it over your heart, maybe?
Oh, we can get him to do all sorts of random stuff here.
I know. I was dying last week.
Go closer, Adrian. Closer. No, with your heart.
My heart?
Yeah.
I could end up doing something inappropriate with my hand, and it might. Oh, there
it is.
Should save that for Valentine's Day. What then? Yeah, Rodney Cook. So, so tickets will be available soon.
Adrian. Yeah.
Facts. Yeah. No. Well, we might be
Banana hand press.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's a hand signals for I've got trapped wind.
He's got my phone number, but I just, if he starts sending me texts, I'm just slightly worried about the content.
Yeah, well, if it's a text, it'll only be text.
It happens to me, so if it happens to you, I don't care.
Look, I never get drunk and do stupid things. I'm not like that. This
want to see the pictures I've just sent him.
But yeah, Rodney Cook looks good, and then we got Detectable this year and all the other ones, so it'll be good. And I think Detectable was exceptionally relaxing last year, especially with the teapot.
Beautiful. I didn't. We had to leave early because we booked for dinner. My husband was with us, and we booked for dinner at like 8 o'clock. So everything kind of starts winding down about 7. If you've got to be at dinner at 8, you don't get to sort of hang out and party. I'm pretty much thinking of coming on my own next time. Not sure, because I would like to hang out and talk, because I'm great at that. That's one of the things I'm best at.
No way.
Yeah, no, it's I think it is nice because you detect all day, then drink in the evening and just talk and waffle on. And I don't think many people talk about metal detecting either. It's normally like
we talk about, I don't know, both.
Oh, Dave, have you got a guest?
Donna.
Have you got a guest for Halloween? Because it's on your show.
I don't know, because it's February.
I know. I looked. I love to come on your show on Halloween and talk about ghosts and weird stories that people have told me about ghosty, weird things going on in the field.
You booked? You're in.
Donna, did you see my lead chicken's foot?
I did, yeah.
Do you think, with your archaeology hat on, that could be linked to witchcraft?
There's a good possibility. I even thought that when you saw it, but also it could just be a foot of a chicken statue.
Why would you want a chicken statue made, though?
Because people are weird. People are weird, yeah.
Listen, I got a spank the monkey.
I know, darling. It's lovely. I've got.
No, what I'm saying is they create.
There you go. I've got some
things.
I've got, and whose house was it that you went to? Where he was digging up the floor, and he said that he had a little doll.
Tom Dempster.
That's a naked Charlotte. So I found that in my.
Has that got a dicky?
No, it's kind of androgynous. So, but it's a little girl. It's why it's called a Charlotte.
I got that, but it just looked like it had a dicky, and I was going to say, so it's like a Charlie.
I'm not sure whether they were. It's got a bottom, but I'm not sure whether they were fairings. So little I can never do this. Little prizes that were awarded at like a fair, but they were little dolls that could be dressed. Little porcelain dolls, and the lifespan's about 200 years, something like that. They were in existence for quite a long time.
Wow.
But I found that in my dike. And for those of you who are not Fen, a dike is a Fen word for a ditch or a small watercourse.
Not like a dike that we would call a dike in the north.
What were you doing in it?
That's I found that in there as well. I dug up a cottage, look.
Ooh.
Cottaging in a ditch.
I think it's probably 1930s little salt and pepper shaker. Yes, cottaging in a ditch. Yeah.
With a naked Charlie. Cottaging in a ditch with somebody naked who's a dyke.
Yeah.
You've got lovely soil there, haven't you, Donna?
Yeah.
Very, very sultry then, Adrian.
Where I detect mostly in there's a cross between Cambridgeshire clay, claggy Suffolk. So, and I have got the best permission in Bedfordshire, and it is like you can put your hand in and lift the finds out. It's wonderful. You don't want to stop digging holes. You just want to dig and keep digging. It's so easy. I was watching some finds today, and when I took them out of my bag, it was like 2 days ago. And there was just these clumps of mud. And, you know, people are like, well, you can't put your metal finds near water and don't put them near water. I'm sorry. Once, I mean, you'll know that from detecting in Cambridgeshire. Think Detectable 2022. Once you have a find and the clay has solidified, that you have to soak it. There is no other way of getting it off. I mean, you can finesse it with the pencils, the composite cleaning pencils, and they work really well as well. But I've tried everything on them, and copper alloy, just bad survival rate of copper alloy, which is really, really sad. Because obviously, you know, I've got a really nice market site. I get a lot of tokens come up, but a lot of them are buggered by the time that's an official term. Yeah. A lot of them are buggered by the time you kind of cleaned them up, which is really sad. But yeah, I want to try out Graham's solution, his solution for copper alloy. That would be grand, because that would be the test. If it can do Cambridgeshire clay, it can do anything.
Well, it does Essex clay.
Does it?
I think, yeah. Yeah. Mine's, it's awful, because this time, like today, it's going to be awful this weekend, because it takes like 3 months to drain through, and it just sits there. And then the summer, it's like rock hard, isn't it?
In the summer, I've got an allotment, and I have to dig it this time of year. If I try to dig it in the summer, I will be standing on the spade. It's dunk, dunk, nothing happens. Yeah. I mean, I went out, and it's in the frost as well. I went out in the frost, and I've never had it on that particular field. And went all the way to the field, you know, walk a mile down the lane, get to the field. Dunk, dunk. I was going across the field, actually dropping my spade to see if it went in, and there was a bit in the middle where I could detect. But yeah, still got a Daenerys. That was kind.
It's that's nice, very nice.
We'll have a look at them in a moment.
Yes, Derek Gibbon said it works on Cornish clay, so this is the composite cleaning.
Ah, good. Is it different? Yeah. What colour's Cornish clay? This is kind of grey. This dries grey, whitey colour. Is it the same, or is it brown?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
So before we look at yours, I'm just going to break up Stephen's brain. So the story behind this is Stephen found a war medal on was it Remembrance Day?
Yeah, Remembrance Day. Yeah.
And from that, obviously, he's traced the family of the person who was awarded to, and he appeared on a TV program this week.
ITV News, his local one, I think.
So Stephen's the one on the far right there. Sorry, no, the one in the middle there.
He's in the car. He's on the back seat of the car.
He's in the car.
Through the window. It was
cold.
Adrian, you keep covering your mic.
Do I?
Yeah, you can go like that.
What about? Oh, well, it's there. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Is Stephen the one in the black coat?
Yes.
Oh no!
Next to the one with the black coat, I can see now. It says "Quest for Britannia" on his top.
Oh, hats off to him. So he got on the telly. Look at that.
And I'm going to make the presumption that this is the family member of the medal. And this is the medal, which was a World War I Silver Service Medal, which was awarded to Private Nicholas Farnworth. And this is in, as we said earlier, one of the Monarch Designs.
They're lovely.
Names got out my head. Displays, that's the one. The silver medal was awarded to officers and men of the British and Imperial forces who either entered the theatre of war or served overseas between 5th of August 1914 and 11th November 1918. The ribbon would have had a central band of orange edged with white, black and blue lines. The obverse depicts the bust of King George V, left, with an inscription, Georgius V. Brit OMN Rex et Ind Imp. The reverse has the dates 1914 and 1918, with St. George on a horseback trampling underfoot the eagle shield of the Central Powers. with a skull and crossbones. Approximately 6.4 million of these medals were issued, and this was found, as I say, on Remembrance Day or Remembrance Weekend by Stephen Brame of Quest for Britannia Metal Detecting. Well done, Stephen.
Oh,
Yeah. Well done, Stephen. That is amazing, isn't it, when that happens?
I'm going to have something happen. I'm going to have something. Oh, I'll just do that. Well done, Stephen. I thought when I clap, it does something. I look special on here, don't I?
Yes, you look special.
Yeah, well done, Stephen. Should we look at some of Lady Martin's finds?
Why the hell not? Firstly, Lady Martin. Where's the lady come from?
Oh, that's Chris Holmes, found in the ground. I don't know why. I did some research for him, and then he christened me Lady Martin because he thought I was posh because I have a master's degree from Cambridge. But you know, far from the truth.
Well, I'm not posh, and I'm a lord.
Oh, there you go. Exactly. But it's also a biker name. We went to Belgium with Hog, so Harley Owners Group, and all very tall guys. And one of the guys started. Well, he said, "Oh, Donna, you're a bit of a lady, aren't you?" Because I corrected one of them, and then he said, "You know, you're quite small." Well, they were all like 6'6". They were either ex kind of sergeant majors or police people or whatever. So they started calling me Lady Titch, and then he said, "You talk a lot."
Did
don't
you say Titch then?
Titch. Yeah, you
Right.
have to be careful how you say that. And then he said, "You talk a lot." So the name rolled out as Lady Titch Chatsby. So you know it precedes me.
I wish I.
I don't know where that came from.
Lady Titch Chatsby. Oh, that's quite a good one.
I think Chris Holmes might have been onto them, and yeah, got the lady from that. Don't know.
He's a lovely bloke, Chris, found in the ground.
He does seem really nice, and I was really chuffed to be able to do a little bit of research for him about the Civil War in Norfolk. So
this is your logos.
It is,
file.
yeah, ACE archaeology. If anyone is in our area and they really want to learn how to do archaeology and they want to get their hands dirty, we've sort of got ongoing projects all the time. We've got a talk at our local library on the 17th, but all they've got to do, Google the Soham Museum website and the ACE pages on the Soham Museum website, and it'll tell them what events are coming up. So, yep, anyone's welcome. Me.
Who's that man? Who's that man?
That's me.
Oh, sorry.
That's me. What have I got there? I've got the gold max there.
Yeah.
And that's our logo for the museum project. So, yeah, we've been going since 1998. We've got over 4,000 items of local and social history relevance and no museum. So we just do loads of outreach into the community, displays, talk to people, collect oral history, write books, you name it, we're out there doing it. So where a lot of museums struggle, museums with actual buildings and collections, we're actually pretty good at this kind of stuff, actually going out and into the community.
Did you ever have a museum?
No, we should do, because this happened. And in fact, this picture is really interesting. So have you got if you look where the crane is, this is a picture of the aftermath of the Soham rail disaster. It's the 80th anniversary of the day that the men saved Soham. So 4 men saved Soham from complete destruction when a wagon carrying bombs for D-Day actually blew up in Soham Station. And a young man called James Nighthall was sent by the driver. He was a fireman, but he was sent by the driver to uncouple a burning wagon from the rest of the train. And their intention was to drive it out into the countryside. So this was a wagon of bombs and it was on fire. They were going to drive it out into the countryside and bail, and it blew up in the station. James Nighthall, who was fireman, was 22. He was killed. Ben Gimbert, the driver, actually survived. The signalman, Frank Bridges, he was killed. And the guard, Herbert Clark, crawled to the next village on his hands and knees because he didn't know what happened. He knew there'd been an explosion, but they needed to stop the trains on the line because there was a 70-foot crater. But if you look actually where the crane is and you follow that horizontal line across, you can see a house with its roof blown off.
Yeah.
I'm sitting in there right now.
No way.
No.
That's my house.
Have you got a roof now?
700 houses were really badly damaged. They only demolished 13 and the rest of them they patched up. So yeah, I'm actually in the, I've got a roof on there and a big extension. And
what year was that?
It was 80 years ago, Adrian. So it was 1944.
Can I just say hi to Stephen Gray, Anglo-Celtic, in the chat? And that was really cool of him. Yeah, left me a message.
Hi, Steve.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. What have you got that on the wall in your house?
I've got a lot of books, and we've written books, and we're doing another big book this year about that. And I'm actually the national expert. It's quite a famous incident in railway circles. I contributed to Gordon Brown's book on George Medal winners or awards, and we do a big event every 5 and 10 years. And this year, we think it'll be the last time that the families will actually be able to attend, because obviously the children of the people who were there they're in their sort of 80s now as well. So we have a memorial to the rail disaster in the town. It's a bronze, and it actually stands near our war memorial. We erected that, so museum actually put in the work to put that in, and that was unveiled at the 60th anniversary by His Royal Highness Duke of Gloucester, and we had big parades and all kinds of amazing things. And this year would have been nice. We had big plans, but you know, our local council decided, nah, you know, we don't want to make a lot of fuss. So and we pay for it. We do all the fundraising with the museum, but not interested, which is a shame. But yeah, it's an amazing event, and a lot of people don't know about it because it was wartime. So you know, there was no. It could have been sabotage. We don't know, because we don't know if any sabotage was successful. If it was covered up. There's a lot of evidence to say that it was, but we tell a story that hasn't been written down. And what we're going to try and do from this year is actually try and write it down. So yeah, but
have you wrote a book about this?
We have a book that was written by a chap called Anthony Day, and as we have been over the last kind of 20 years, as we've been taking the stories out into the community, that's never sat well with me. You know, I live in one of the houses, and I've taken this out to lots of people and raised lots of questions. I've talked to railway experts about it. We talked to railway groups about it, and nothing sits right. And we've got a lot of evidence to suggest that, you know, what the story that was told isn't actually true, and the families know that. You know, the families know that something else went on other than the official version. And we've had some very weird serendipitous instances. So the driver was somehow blown 200 feet and landed on the steps of a local hotel, which is impossible. But if he had left his cab, he would have been charged with dereliction of duty. He got a George Medal. The guy who died, the station, Frank Bridges, who was a signalman, he died. He'd left his signal box, therefore it's dereliction of duty. He didn't get a medal. They saved the town. He didn't get a medal because he stepped outside. It's mad. We think Ben Gimbert was running to get help. We don't think he was in there, but they had to tell the story that he was still in the train. And he told, I found a newspaper report where a reporter had obviously got to him before the actual newspaper, the official people had been to see him. So the newspaper journalist went in to the hospital before the official report was made. And he talked about meeting a soldier. And randomly, on just after the 60th anniversary, I get a letter from this guy called Tom Massey. And it was him. It was actually this soldier. He was like 90 years old, and he was writing to me and say, after all these years, I want to come clean. We were able on the night, and this is what happened. And I met this man staggering towards me. He's a soldier. He knew it was a bomb. It was, and it put everything came into place then. Everything fell into place. So, yeah. Completely.
So have you ever looked at getting the signalman a posthumous accreditation?
We had his grave honoured by the Duke of Gloucester, and for his family, that was the first time that had been recognised at all. That their father and the grandfather had been recognised, and the Duke of Gloucester laid a wreath there. Nobody knew about it. It was a completely private ceremony before he came and unveiled the memorial that we created for the town. And we actually built him a new grave. So we actually funded a new grave because the family was so embarrassed. They never went to the grave and they never tended the grave. And we had some beautiful words put on it and, you know, made it into something special. So we do what we can. Obviously, we have to have the family's permission to do what we can. And I mean, they've applied for things and they've got nowhere with it. So,
what was your book called by
Anthony? The book is called "But for Such Men as These." I can send you a copy, Dave, in exchange for my spade, mate.
Okay. Shit.
Can I tell you something really sad? So, the doorbell rings today. There's this parcel guy there with this massive, long, tall, thin parcel. And I'm like, my spade has arrived. I'm so excited. And he went, I said, I'm so excited. I know what that is. He said, it's for next door. I was scared.
They've got a McGrafter. Look, is it still there?
I was gutted. He just wants to play with it. You're just licking it every day, aren't you? Going,
I'm not, because I've got one in the van.
Have you used one yet? Donna?
Me? No, I haven't. But I think that with the master, I've got a dodgy back, so that with the master was like wicked. Yeah, wicked.
Yeah.
Right. Let's bring on. That was a fantastic story.
Yeah, it was a brilliant story.
I can vaguely in my mind remember the Soham rail disaster. I might have been thinking of Clapham Tram disaster or something. It's close, but
I'll send you
vaguely
that.
in my mind I can remember it. But when when you sent the images this morning,
yeah,
and there was something about it of Soham or something, and I was like, "Where's Soham?"
Yeah,
I've never heard of it, and
It's
I've found where it is now. It's only
6 miles equidistant, Ely Newmarket, so it's slap bang in the middle.
Two more questions regarding that before we go.
Yeah.
Before we go over to your images, you've obviously your garden, what have you? I'm sure you've took your detector outside and had a play.
It's full of bits of train.
Is it?
Of course it is.
No, I just wanted to know because obviously that whole area must be.
It is. I mean, I took my Knox. I first got my Knox in 2020 in lockdown. So I took that out and Lordy, I couldn't even use it. I took the Goldmax over it. Actually, I thought I'd done it to death and I took the master out to see if there were any more signals and it's dancing with signals now. But my house dates back to the 17th century and there used to be a farmyard here as well. But yeah, there's some big old bits of iron in the ground. I mean, every time I dig bits of the garden, but the one thing that you find with archaeology across the town, because this was huge, this spanned a huge area. I mean, there wasn't a single whole pane of glass apparently in the whole of the town. It covered a vast area. It was massive. So it was one wagon, and it's something like it takes 125 tons of explosives to blow up a 25-story tower block, and there were 125 pounds, that's it, of explosives, and there were 250,000 pounds of explosives in that wagon. So if they hadn't have done what they did and uncoupled it from the rest, and the rest had gone up, that's that multiplied. I think there were 48, so 47 wagons that big full of bombs.
And you'd be in a flat in Bermondsey now.
Well, so the people of Soham wouldn't exist. You know, that would have everything.
Chris Dave, formerly the Discriminator, can't remember what his new channel's called. Mine's gone blank. Says to say hello.
Hello. Do I know?
He says, it's Lady Martin. Say hi from Chris.
Oh, hi.
And I did have another question, and I can't remember it. So
go on then.
No, I can't. I honestly can't remember it. So
if it comes to you, Dave, you're welcome to ask it. Anyway, you've got my email address, so email me your address, and I will send you a copy of the book.
Thank you muchly.
Right.
Now, these images, I don't know what order they're going to come out with. come out in. They might be all over the place, but I'll leave it to you for your discrimination.
Yeah, well, I was going to say you're gonna run out of time. So
sorry.
The reason that I put this up is because I grew up around ancient things. I was never aware where my interest in history came from, but I used to live in Weeting, and that's Weeting Castle. And we used to play kiss chase, hide and seek, all the things that kids used to play in the good old days before technology. At Weeting
and snowflakes.
Castle. Yeah, I mean, I was always, when we were doing hide and seek, I was always sort of looking at the stonework and wondering where the window was there and where the doorways were. So I must have always been interested in it, but it's still there. It's just less and less of it. I mean, there's less there in this picture than when I remembered it as a kid, which is a shame. But yeah, me. Oh, that. Now these pictures are slightly out of order, so there'll be something
very much so.
This is we didn't know what it was. I got a guy who used to bring his non-metal finds to me for identification. And I do actually map his finds now, and I do actually ID his metal finds now. But this is like a probably 25-year relationship, maybe 30-year relationship. He brought this to me, and I said, anything that doesn't belong, it's in a fen wetland. It's actually the Barway Causeway. Bring me anything that is not natural. So he crops up with this. This is a Bronze Age quernstone. At the time it was discovered, there were only 4 complete ones in the whole of the country. This is complete. It's made of flint. It's made of really black flint. It weighs 2 stone, 2 pounds. How this little old man, how he got it off the field, I will never know. It weighs a ton. So
wow.
There's some more pictures of it, and it will show you the kind of working on it as well. So that's it, and you can actually see it's better when it's turned upside down, but I put it right up against my yard, the concrete in my yard, so you can see how flat it is. And it would have started out as a flint nodule, and they've actually taken flakes off it to make it flat, so sort of napped it, and then they pounded the surface to make the surface completely flat. And it is huge, but it's a quernstone, so it's used to put the grain on to actually make bread, to grind into bread.
Wow.
And that was ID'd by Barry Bishop, who is one of the country's leading experts. Yeah.
That's a name.
Yeah, Barry Bishop. He's a great guy.
Does his nickname Bash?
He's a top bloke when it comes to stones, If you don't know what a stone is, he'll tell you. Look at that. I'll put some of these in for you, Adrian. Isn't that nice? It's the 1st century, and it is just a bow.
Can't find the fibula. Can't find the fibula.
Yep. Okay, next.
I've got some here, by the way.
Yep. All right. Okay. Oh, internet's playing up. Oh.
Now, that was the Time Team dig at Ely. And, I think it's a lot of people started out with, Time Team. And that's what really piqued my interest. And it was really weird. So it was on TV, and it had been on for a couple of seasons. And then they came and did a dig in Ely. And in between times, I'd gotten involved with trying to stop some building. We'd started the museum project. They were trying to do some inappropriate building in the town without doing archaeology. And we sort of pressed the point and said, that there was a Benedictine monastery in Soham at one time. And, you need to look for it, because you're going to be putting this great big supermarket right where this monastery was. But it was so weird. I went to this dig, and Phil just happened to be there. And I had a conversation with him. He's such a nice guy, bit solitary, bit sort of sad guy, but nice. But the weird thing was, I was walking down onto this site, which is near the river at Ely, and they discovered these pottery kilns down there. And they thought I was actually an archaeologist. I had like massive imposter syndrome. Donna, and it's like, private tour. And honestly, that happens to me on every single site I go on. I just walk on, and they're like, so glad you came. I was hoping you'd drop in, come and have a look at this, and we found this, and this. But yeah, it's great. But that inspired a lot of people, and it really did inspire me as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that's the second quernstone. So probably about 10 years after the first one was found, other bits of quernstones were found, but this is another whole one that this guy found. It's not quite so big as the other one, so it's probably just under maybe 1.5 stone, something like that. But it is done in exactly the same way, prepared in exactly the same way. And the reason why they're only now, 5 or 6 of them in the whole country is because A, they're flint, but B, they used to be broken. So they've got parts of them, but they've not got whole ones. And it's something to do with the maternal spirit of the matriarch spirit being invested in that stone. And I do a talk about this, but when the female line runs out, dies out, the female line spirit, that's what makes the bread that feeds the children, that keeps the genes going, if you like. So that's got some magic energy in it. So they break it so that it can't be used by anybody else. A bit like gypsy caravans are burnt when somebody dies, when the matriarch dies. Same kind of idea about that.
Wow. So they probably lost that then. Sorry.
Yeah, that's good because it shows the cortex, and it's a really, they've actually left cortex on there. That's not napped in the same way because it sits flat. It's not napped underneath, whereas the bigger one is really properly napped underneath. You can see where loads of flakes have been taken off. So that would, if that was that way up, you probably wouldn't pick it up unless you knew it shouldn't be there. But that should not be sitting in sort of fen feet. I didn't have the Calvados look. I've got to do the Calvados. Yeah. Oh, it's got a cork. Yeah, so that's the cortex, and that's how they come out of the ground, like big globular things. That's the first dig that I was invited to go on my tutor, David Jakes, when I was doing my BA honours. And he was teaching Romans, and he was directing a dig just off Stonehenge, a place called Blickmead at Amesbury. And this is like a little magic pool just off the River Avon. And we were here looking for something. He didn't know what, but it was a feature. I did some research. We found out that the feature had been in existence in the 19th century when they'd gone round to try and discover all of the earthworks around Stonehenge. Still couldn't explain it. And this was the dig where he actually found the reason. It's now the premier Bronze Age site in the whole of Europe for Bronze Age flints. I think they found something like 33,000 worked flints there. It's incredible. But it's still going on. Seasonal digs are still going on there, and they're mostly like educational digs. But David Jakes is a super lovely guy, and he gave me a lovely dedication. They wrote a book about it, and he put in there to Donna, because you always believed. He'd kind of given up, and I said no, there's definitely something there, because there was a kind of, I could feel there was something there. You knew there was something there. I'm a bit, Dave, you'll enjoy me when we get to talking about ghosts.
I'm being pulled out of retirement gradually at the moment, but that's a story for another day.
Not. I did watch one of your paranormals. I don't know if I can get on that planet, but I can tell you some weird stuff.
Was it the one where I think it was on the BBC when they said, "Should we turn the light out? Will that make things better?" And Dave went, "No."
Because it wouldn't, would it? I'd turn the light out.
Anyway, look, Calvados. I'm going to give this a try to Nick West.
Yeah,
I've just had another slug and it still hurts.
Right about a glass. Interesting, isn't it?
Good them.
There you go. Pour moi. And I think that says on there, it says something like 4 hoard coins.
Oh yeah.
And that is going to be, I think it's something like 9 to 12. So I got this funny little click one day, the magic click on the Gold Max, and it just sounded weird. I hadn't had one of those before. And it's a real electrostatic click. Marcus described it really, really well. Really deep hole. I mean, I turned it from a click into a just hardly a noise at all. Kept digging, and out came a coin of Valerius Flaccus, who she reigned for 1 year. She was whatever she was, 1 year. And the first 8 coins went in as a hoard together. So I found 3 in 1 year. And I wasn't really sure if they were a hoard or not, because one of them at least looked like it was plated. So I got some advice on it, and they were like, well, you know, you found them in different places in the field. If you find any more, and by the time I went in the second year, I found 8. I'm now up to, I might have lost count, but it's between 21 and 23. But it's hard going. It's hard going, and the scatter is wide. So even I'm not sure whether it's a scattered horde. The date periods are like 225 right through to, we're just on sort of Caesar, the cusp of Caesar. So yeah, it's a Republican, but apparently according to Dr. Sam Moorhead, the god of all of these things, it's not possible. So what you're seeing doesn't actually exist. That's me at Stonehenge. Yeah, you can keep going. Okay. That's David Jakes in the middle there. That is doing archaeology on a badger set. Badger.
Ridiculous. Did you do a risk assessment?
I am not kidding. The backs of my calves were killing me. Like I could hardly walk the next day. It was almost vertical. It's on the ramparts of Vespasian's camp. And David, the pool, Vespasian's camp, where they're at Blickmead, has a wider context in that it is joined onto this big Iron Age hill fort with a barrow on the top of it. Except there was a long barrow underneath it, and David was like, well, you know, we've got badger sets in the side of the rampart, let's just pick through it. Donna, can you direct that? And this is his brother Stephen there, and his friend Michael, his bum, but you know, can you direct it and see if there's any pottery? So we spent a day doing that, and I'm not kidding, I just said say nothing at all. So we go back, and it's sunsetting, and he's like, did you find anything? Did you find anything? And they're like, no. And he went, see, because the night before when we'd walked through, he picked up this little piece of pottery off of the pathway that just runs underneath the rampart. And he's like, see, I knew it would be a one-off, and we got bags of the stuff. So they must have been tipping pots over the side of the ramparts. The badgers have dug it all out. We got no end of, we got actually Bronze Age pottery out of there, and we dated the hill fort to, I think it's 300 to 500 years earlier than they thought it was, which is fabulous, just by doing badger sets. So badgers,
see, Adrian, badgers are cool.
Badgers are cool.
Well, until they chase you.
And that's me on the dig, looking very archaeologist-like, with about 10 layers on by the looks of it. And sunset at Stonehenge. Now, people out there, if you've been to Stonehenge, fine. Good time to go to Stonehenge. Don't go to the stones. Go walk the avenue as the sun is setting. It will blow your mind. The atmosphere makes your hair stand on end. It is incredible. And you can't really see the stones. They look like they're in the distance. And the sun is setting. You're looking, you can see the barrows behind me. They're just, the henge is just to the left of that. But the sun is setting over the barrows from where I'm standing on the avenue. But it's almost like Stonehenge rises up towards you as you're walking up to it. The mist was kind of starting to hang around your feet. You know, when the mist rises in the autumn, the atmosphere was insane. You know, don't go do the tourist bit, go do the bit around it. It was awesome. That's me getting my degree. That's my husband looking really young and smart. And yeah, if you'd have seen him in lockdown, you would have thought, yep, heavy metal band. But that's outside Ely Cathedral. And I guess the reason that I put that in there is because if anyone is hesitating about doing it, if you're hesitating about studying, go change your life, do it. It's bloody hard work, but honestly, it changed my life. Like,
I can say that for myself. I'm doing courses at the moment, and it's hard going, especially fitting around work, but I'm slogging away. So yeah, totally
honestly
agree.
Yeah, thanks Dave, thanks for that. And yeah, keep going, because the rewards at the end of it, I never thought that would be me, put it like that. And I loved it, and I still love it, and I'm still doing academic stuff. But yeah, so lucky to have done that. And so that was Open University. Don't ever poo-poo Open University. It is a much broader education than you will get from a standard degree, put it like that.
Adrian, he looks like a tall, handy lad.
He looks like can handle himself.
He is great for top shelves, I'll tell you that.
He's got a bit of ginger in him now, hasn't he? But he could be Prince Harry's dad.
He's quarter Scottish. His grandma was Flora MacDonald. Literally. Literally. And that's my master's. So that's King's College there. But I was...
Is that your bike?
No, that's Cambridge. There's bikes everywhere in Cambridge, but
Yeah.
that's King's College there. But it rained on my graduation day, which was sad. But I was an alumna of Downing College. And yeah, if you'd ever said to me, I mean, Cambridge was for shopping, you know. When I went to work at English Heritage, they're like, so what do you want to do next then? You've got your degree, you know, do you want to go for a master's? And they paid for it. So I did it. It was an incredible learning experience, and you're a member of the club for life, and it's wonderful. And going in as a mature student as well, you appreciate it a lot more, I think. But yeah,
I've only actually been to Cambridge once, and it was actually Cambridge Airport. I was doing an industrial cleaning job there.
Marshalls.
You should go, Dave. It's really good.
There's a lot of places I need to go. Where is Cambridge where the Ashmolean Museum is?
No, that's Oxford.
Cambridge
is
the
the Fitzwilliam Museum, which is like a mini British museum. So if the British Museum is too big for you, go to the Fitzwilliam, and that's where they do a lot of the coins.
Right.
So they do a lot of the coins ID.
Yeah, it rings a bell actually, because Jason Jones sells his coins to their.
Yeah, they've got a great collection, and there I am. That's my English Heritage look there with the hard hat on, and couldn't believe I got a job at English Heritage. You know, who believed that pinched me? I just, every time I drove through the gates, I just wanted to cry. I was so happy.
And where's this picture taken at?
Do you know what? I looked at it and I thought, where was that? Because I got a hard hat on, assuming I'm on a building site. But I don't even think it's when I was at English Heritage, but I don't think it's on a job. I think that's at Beer Caves.
It looks cave-esque.
Yeah, I think it's at Beer Caves in Devon. That's where I think it was. And there I am learning geophys. We're just trying to get the machine to register by shoving it in the ground. And I'm the one doing a squat. I'm very good at squatting. That's one for the Saw sisters there. But yeah. And we did as part of our education.
Look what they've dug up here. Younglings.
This is what we do with ACE. We volunteer to do educational digs for kids. So this is a test pit at our local school, the Wetheralls, and we had, I think it was 70 to 80 kids from one year group, and they came in 3 lots. They were told they had to do proper archaeology, and they had to be proper archaeologists, and they had to behave like proper archaeologists. So we had to entertain and get them to professionally dig a little test pit over a period of a week, and they were awesome. I'm not kidding. What they learned from it, they were so well behaved. I'm so proud of them. And the school were great, and we went in and did teaching sessions with them, and we have a little exhibition at the end of it as well. And what they learn is superb, except one little bugger nicked one of our Roman coins, but never mind. You know.
I've got a small issue here regarding size equivalents. Where's the Rodats?
Well, there you go. See, they have what they call adults standing very close by. But that's the kind of stuff we do. So we set them up in order to entertain all of those kids. We have soil sifting. This is macrofine. So this is where you're getting a litre of the soil and you're washing it and you're sifting it for little microorganisms and little miniature snails and things like that. And kids absolutely love doing that. We call it their science table. And so we have fines washing, sifting. So they've got different activities that they can rotate around. So they're all getting a go on pretty much everything and digging. But we can only have 2 kids in the hole at any one time, and it is just a metre square hole. So
and you've got archaeological football in the background, and
that's archaeological football. It was a working school
kid with
at
ginger
the time.
hair as well.
Honestly,
and you do all that voluntarily?
Yep.
I've got to skip forward a few bits now because obviously we're getting close.
Can I
to the
just
time.
show you that was left on the side of the hole by that little girl who was talking to all the others. And they thought I was telling them off because I walked over to the hole when they were queuing up. And I'm like, oh, my God, who found this? And it's like, no, not me. I didn't do it. I didn't. It's the most beautiful Bronze Age scrape.
Yeah.
Flipping heck! Wow.
Yeah, that's me and Carol doing the school dig. Go on as fast as you like. Yeah, school dig, school dig. This is another one that was grand. That was, we told the teacher we'd do one classroom, so it was a small school. He got so excited, he invited the whole school. We had 120 children, and they all wanted to come at once. It was hell on earth, and we had to smile and make it all happen, and we did. But you know, it put a lot of our group off ever wanting to do it again, which was a shame. But you know, it wasn't miscommunication. The headmaster just got a bit carried away. But yeah, that's a piece of Samian that actually came out of their test pit. That was on a farm, and that was on a Roman site. So yeah, really good dig, and that was a piece of flint that came out of that as well. And that was a pond that we were digging next to the same site, and they didn't carry on digging that, which is a shame, because that actually had Roman finds coming up in that, and I have good reason to think that that pond was open during the Roman period, so it could have been some good stuff in there. Me and Graham at the farm on the Cambridgeshire hillside, and that's the sort of exhibition we do with the kids. So we do it in 10cm spits, and then on each piece of paper we're laying out what kind of things were in that kind of period. So if they found a little piece of Iron Age pottery, you know, what do the Iron Age pots look like? And they invite all the parents to it, so the parents get to see, and the parents actually get really interested in that as well.
Have you had any kids say, "Oh, I'm really interested in this.
All of them.
Do it when I get older"?
If you ask them at the end to put their hand up, who would like? So this is what we do for G's Artifacts at Barway. We look after their farm collection of artifacts, and we put some of our museum collections. So we do a timeline for the local area, and we do that every summer. So anyone wants to come and see decent collection, it's G's Open Farm Sunday, and I think it's the second weekend of June. So G's Open Farm Sunday. Oh, you've got a little woofter.
Hello.
Yeah, I didn't know you had a dog.
Yeah.
What's his
Oh, yeah,
name?
he has got a dog. Yeah, he has got a dog.
Yeah.
Midnight.
He is now. He's
Right.
dog.
Looks like a badger.
Badger. Yeah, so these are some of the museum
Look
collections
at that.
and some of the farm collections. So those have all come off the Barway Causeway. And the guy who does it now is a massive commercial farmer, but he bought back a lot of the collections that the old farm boys had collected on the land through the years.
Oh, wow.
That's part of the Soho Museum collection. So those are some Neolithic hand axes that were dug up just not very far away from me on the fen when they were ditch digging in the 1960s. And the woman who owned that, Helen Thomas, actually brought them to us. That was gifted to us. We had an exhibition, archaeological exhibition, and a guy came in and said, "I've got something in my drawer that you might be interested in. You can have it."
Oh, right.
Yeah. And I've been offered somebody's whole collection of hand axes for that. And it's like, we can't do that. We're a museum. So this is an example of a fen bank drainage mill. And this was what we were digging just before Christmas. We went and dug it. So
Awesome.
Dave's got some pictures of us digging holes. So that's before, that's during, that's after. And that's the base of a windmill. Donna down a hole. Dave, who the farmer calls Windy Miller, who runs the Wickham Windmills Trust. Lovely guy, but what they don't know about windmills isn't worth knowing. But we got all of that done in a day out of a mound.
Wow.
Can you believe
Really?
it?
How many of you?
That's how many of us there were. We worked like Trojans. They were great. They were really, and some of them it was their first time with us. Tristan dug those. He was the guy detecting for us, so I didn't detect that day because I was managing the dig. And that is the tunnel, the drainage tunnel that ran underneath the drainage mill. So it was to drain the water off the land to keep the land farmable. And that's the wheel went through the end of that and lifted it up into the river. So that would have had water. And that's when you're standing on top of the bank now, the water level probably has receded about 20 meters. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. That's me with the lads when I first got my...
Is that your Polish metal detector pose?
That's before I bust my wrist to smithereens. That's when my daughters message me and I'm like, I'm in a field and I just send them a picture.
I do that. I do that to my kids.
I never see my screen. Never can see the screen. I'm like, I'm in a field. I'm in a field.
Well, there's lots and lots and lots of images left, and I'm sure we can bring you back anytime and come
Anytime.
back on.
If you want to go to the museum website, if you scan that,
Yeah,
you can go.
Thank you. That's so kind of you. It just tells you what's going on, what we're doing anytime. You know, there's always a list of dates, and some of them won't be exciting to everyone. If you want to get involved in the archaeology, can you let people know at the moment the link to our email is not working? So it's museum@soam.org.uk if you want to send us an email, so you can rewind that if you're watching it on playback, or just find our Facebook page and message there, and it will come through to me via a third party. But the G's Open Farm Sunday is the second Sunday of June, and we'll be there. And it's every other month we have an actual meeting at Soam Library on a Saturday morning. You can come and meet us, and we do finds ID and all kinds of things as well. So we're always happy to see people. And I've drank half the bottle of Calvados, by the way.
Down it.
Yeah,
No, we're not.
I'm not a
There's children
soil sister. I'm a grown up. I'm just saying.
And
What's the Facebook group called? Soam
Museum. So if you just, I don't do Facebook. but I
I've put
have-
Soam Museum. I've got Soam Bottisham Airfield Museum.
No. that's
Soam. What about this one? Soam Himalayan Museum.
type in Donna Martin Soam Museum.
No, it should just come up as Soam Museum.
Honestly, it hasn't.
Oh, I think
No,
so.
it's
Does it
the
not?
no, it's
Oh.
No, not there at all. Can't see it anywhere.
it probably does. It probably does on yours, Donna, because you go there like every day or
I
10
don't.
times
Yeah,
a
I
day.
don't do Facebook.
The
I'm like
Thatcher
you.
Museum.
No,
About
on,
Margaret
oh,
Thatcher.
Facebook. Oh, I don't know
Yeah.
about Facebook. No,
Yeah,
I don't do
I
Facebook.
don't do Facebook. The website is definitely there. But yeah, museum@soam.org.uk. Just read it on the website as opposed to click the link, because the link doesn't work, and I don't know why, but that's us. Yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Good.
I'm going to come up in the summer, Donna, when you've got an event. I'm going to come up.
Come to
'Cause I'm
Jean's
on-
Open Farm. You'll love it. It's the stuff.
What's the date for that?
I think it's the 10th, 12th. Oh, I've got my calendar, if you bear with. Hang on. I have got my calendar at my feet. If you can hang on a sec. It is. Oh, I can message it you. I'll write a note and I'll message it you. I think
Send me a
it's
fax.
10th or 11th of June, but it's the second weekend of June. Open Farm Sunday. If you got kids and they like tractors and stuff, it's all free and it is nuts amazing. Loads of stuff for them to do. The farmer he's a massive farmer. He supplies like supermarket chains.
Fat.
He's a serious good dude, and he's so nice. And I've got permission on all of his land.
You said he's a massive farmer. You had on me all.
He's like,
Oh,
no, Portugal, Spain, the world, mate. He is, but he's a great bloke, and he's very generous in terms of what he does, and he loves the heritage on the farm. So,
play.
yeah.
do you
Can't
know
ask for
Matty
much than that.
Kent?
Pardon?
Do you know Matty Kent?
Matty Kent. I don't know if I do. The trouble is, I meet a lot of people, so if I do,
He says there's a witch's grave at Barcham Farm in Soham.
there may well be. Thank you for that, Matty. Barcham Farm. I will get somebody to look into that. Does he know?
Thank you, Matty.
Does he know what signposts it? What I'm looking for?
Well, if you do find any information on that, Donna, I'd be interested.
I will do.
'Cause
Yeah.
we actually
Halloween.
we've got a guy coming on, folklorist and mythologist called John Billingsley, who writes. He's the editor of the magazine Northern Earth. He's going to be coming on the show in the near future, and we're going to be touching on witchcraft and such like during that.
I always wanted to be a witch when I was a little girl. And then I wanted to be a policewoman and was told, you know, when you sit down for careers, they just fell off their chair. You know, you're not tall enough. And that was the end of that. So I went to art college instead.
He's just put it's behind the farmhouse itself.
Okay, cool. I will go and have a look, Matty.
Ooh.
Go now.
Yeah, it's piddling down here, mate.
There's a well 5 minutes walk from my house. Well, it's not there anymore. I think it got pulled down in the 70s by developers, and they used to drown the witches in that.
Did they?
Obviously, Essex, we had a lot of witches.
You've
Right,
still got a lot, I think.
Yeah, I think we have. Yeah.
When we had the builder guy in to do our house, he's like, he was here in the 70s when they were doing it up from an old cottage, and he said, "You've got a well here somewhere." Have I? Yeah. If you ever find it, it's full of turkeys and sewing machines. Apparently, the builder lived here. You know when bloke down the pub used to sell you stuff to sell on for Christmas? He bought a load of hooky turkeys and sewing machines, and he got a tip-off that the police were raiding, and he chucked them down the well.
That'll interest archaeologists in 200, 300 years' time.
Yeah, 20 sewing machines and about 50 turkeys.
Was he a singer?
He was called one man. He was a bit of a crook, I think.
No.
I'm glad you got that, Adrian.
Singer sewing machines. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Why did I know?
I've got a brother. That's why it wouldn't have made me think about that.
Right.
I learned so at school.
I have absolutely
Yeah.
adored tonight. Donna, you're going to have to come back because we've got more pictures to go through.
I would love to.
I could sit and listen to you all night.
Oh, bless your heart.
Still leave us the voice messages because me and Dave love getting those.
It's not
don't we,
me.
Dave?
It's Lady Martin, and she's a mad old cow, I tell you.
Is she? I bet she's got loads
Adrian
of cats.
starts giggling on a message.
She thinks she's still in the war.
Messages a giggle, and then he sends me the link. And then I sit in work going,
If anything, man, I tell you what did happen the other day. I went to a meeting in the pub and a bloody dog bit me. I've not got my wedding ring on. Look, I actually got bit. The guy's like, "Don't touch my dog." My finger was in the dog's mouth. I wasn't touching.
What sort of dog was it?
It was a horrid old kind of husky cross-border collie. It was nasty. It was growling its head off at me. Well, I only walked past it. Literally, I couldn't say anything because I could see how it was going down. There's claret all down my arm. And I was supposed to be chairing the meeting. I would have been on here otherwise. And I was like, I'll be back in a minute. And there was people at the meeting. I sat through the whole of it. Didn't realise that I've been bleeding the whole way through the meeting.
Oh, dear.
So, yeah,
Donna,
antibiotics.
you're our type of person.
Yeah, no, if it's going to happen, it will happen to me, Dave. It's been lovely being on. Thank you so much.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
And thank you, everybody.
Thank you for joining us. It's obviously we wanted to speak to you a while, and I think you've surpassed our expectations on the show, Jim.
Look, if you're ever stuck as well, Adrian's got a list of my dates. So if you're let down, honestly, give me a ring. If I can do it, I'll do it. I will. I'm going to be watching anyway. The sad thing is in the morning, I've got to listen to me doing that, and I'm not going to like it. I can't do it.
Doesn't it work?
Do that. It's because he's got to pull a silly face.
Do that, Adrian. There you are.
No, thank you very much.
My pleasure, and love. Thank you, sweetheart, and love to the treasure hunting team and big detective. Yeah, and next time, Adrian, I'll tell you how we met last because you have met me before.
Was it in the toilets?
No, he was jumping on me. He was actually jumping on me, shoving. No, Dave. I meant Adrian. I'll tell you how me and Dave met. It was Detectival 2022. You literally jumped on me, little old Mila, and you were shoving a magazine in my rucksack. And do you want to know? Yeah. Do you want to know the sad thing?
You've never read it.
Somebody nicked it. No, somebody nicked it out of my rucksack. I didn't even get it. It didn't go with me.
They ran out of toilet paper.
Yeah.
Probably.
Anyway,
Donna, thank you very much.
Go home, everyone.
An absolute pleasure.
I love you. Bye. Bye.
Thanks very much, Donna.
Bye, everyone.
Love you. Bye.
Take care, Adrian, and we will see you all next week. Thanks again. Good night.